Chapter 1. You are listening at FameTV.info. The eight polar world, Tianzhongsu, is one of the most important holy places in the world. Yan Zhaoge's white dress, blue robe and black edge of the robe roll reveal the identity of the core disciple of Guangqing Mountain. On the other side, a young man in yellow was angry. Yan Zhaoge, don't you have a good father? Yan Zhao's face was expressionless. What did you just scold me for? You have the guts to say it again. Just say, I'm afraid you won't make it. Don't you have a good father? Yan Zhaoge looked at him and suddenly smiled. Well, that's it. I like people saying this to me. Young men in yellow are tongue-tied. After a long time, he came back to his senses. He was so angry that he didn't care about anything else. He rushed to Yan Zhaoge. Yan Zhaoge said casually, take your hand lightly, and don't kill me. The young man in yellow froze, then he was paralyzed, and the scene changed. After a while, he came back to his mind. He let people seize the back waist quietly, and then the whole man was raised in the air. A strong man appeared in front of Yan Zhaoge, holding the man in yellow in the air with one hand, as if carrying a child. The big man said smilingly, young man, please go ahead. Yan Zhaoge nods, hands behind him, turns around and leaves leisurely. The big man laughed and walked away with the young man in yellow in one hand. He could only make a whine. Yan Zhaoge entered his own mountain gate and walked on the road. The color of banter on his face was gone. He did not look askance and looked calm. It seems to be a calm demeanor. But the real meaning of this expression is the face is muddled. The play is not right. Yan Zhaoge mumbles to himself that as a part of the crossing army, there must be something wrong with the way he opens it. For the first time, I went through the different world where Wudao civilization flourished. I bumped into the all-encompassing and classic library in the world. But then there was a catastrophe, and even the temple was destroyed. The next time I actually crossed for the second time, the soul came to the same world, I don't know how many years later. People excavate and carry the remnants of the destruction. The martial arts civilization here is still in the development period of a new generation. The self who has a brain of the secret scriptures of the Temple of God has crossed the current era twice, just like a person who is used to playing hell mode and then is suddenly thrown to play simple mode. Don't be too cool. The only problem is that after the second crossing, the original owner of the body left a mess. Sir, everything you ordered to collect is ready. The strong man, at this time, followed up again the whereabouts of Lian Real Fire. There is also news. Yan Zhaoge's pace slowed down a little bit. It's rare, but find the exact whereabouts. In the northeast of Zhenlongjiwen, the scope has been narrowed down as much as possible. The following people will soon have more accurate news. A simple smile from the big man. Yan Zhaoge nodded with satisfaction. Yes, yes. The people who call themselves child rather than senior brother and younger brother are all the people of Yan family. Their father is not only the senior in the clan, but also the leader of Yan family. The whole continent is famous for its aristocratic family. Yan Zhaoge only needs to open a form to ask for something. He has the following people to run errands. In short, Yan Zhaoge has a distinguished family background, a powerful father and a talented man. Everything is going smoothly. But what seems to be wrong? Child, there's another thing. The big man next to him was just about to say something when he suddenly swallowed it back. In front of him came a middle-aged man with heavy breath. Every step seemed to cause a vibration of the surrounding space. When we got close, Yan Zhaoge met each other and said with a smile, I haven't seen you in a few days. My martial nephew Yan's accomplishments are growing. Yan Zhaoge said with a smile, I'm good at diligence, but I don't dare to slack off. The middle-aged man said Zhenlongjiwen was a little noisy a few days ago. He was ready to send someone to explore. When the young disciples came to Zhenlongjiwen, just at the end of Xiaobi, he joined the top 8 new disciples of Xiaobi, and regarded the rite as a kind of experience. It's just a rumor that you have an old opponent who also appears near Zhenlongjuan. If nephew Yan has nothing to do recently, he just wants to be a leader. He looked at Yan Zhaoge with expectation and appreciation. The young people in front of us are gifted in martial arts. They are the real pride of nature. They are the best of their peers, the leading figures and the faces of the young generation of Guangchengshan. Compared with them, they are all the geniuses of their peers, the most outstanding geniuses, monsters and monsters of the same generation among the other top sects in the 8-pole world. Yan Zhaoge, one of the 4 princes in the world, although young, has become a famous hero and talent in the whole 8-pole world. It is recognized that as long as he doesn't die young, he will become a legend in the future. Zhenlongjuan. Yan Zhaoge thought about it for a while, and even nodded and agreed, I'll go there if I have nothing to do with you. Younger martial brothers and younger martial sisters, they will take care of themselves. The other side's meaning, Yan Zhaoge understands, is a strong young generation with other clan forces, also in the vicinity of Zhenlongjuan. If it happens, the young disciples of their own family are suppressed by each other, and their faces are not good looking. Elder martial uncle and uncle lead the team, naturally they will not be bullied, but the younger generation is weak after all. Yan's Hog leads the team, these problems are not problems. In fact, Yan Zhaoge is willing to go out more and observe the new world for herself, which is confirmed by the information memory in her mind. What I want to find is also in Zhenlongjuan. I need to use the environment of Zhenlongjuan for some planning. I will go there sooner or later. This time, I will be on the way. Seeing Yan Zhaoge's promise, the middle-aged man was even more happy. On this trip, nephew Yan can also set an example for the backward students, believing that they can learn a lot. After saying goodbye to the middle-aged man, Yan Zhaoge walked forward. The big man followed him and said, Young man, I just wanted to tell you that Miss Lin's time seems to be extended, and I can't get out as scheduled. When he wanted to come, his son should have some regrets and dissatisfaction when he heard the news. But in fact, Yan Zhaoge has the impulse to turn his eyes. This is the mess left by the original owner of the body. The original owner of the body, who used to travel outside, met a sister. My sister had a childhood sweetheart, but after meeting the former owner of the body, Gao Fushuai, she finally moved her mind and left her former sweetheart in order to climb the high branch. Although he didn't actively dig the wall, the original owner of the body was obviously open to all comers for the beauty stickers. The grass-roots ex-boyfriend of the girl was rather resentful. The gap between the two sides is too large, and the original owner of the body will not be able to suppress the opponent. He is only dismissive of the opponent's hostility. The martial arts talent of the younger sister is really good. Before that, she was in a small place where the pearl was covered by dust. Later, she went back to Guangqing Mountain with her original owner. After she worshipped the beginner, she began to make rapid progress in cultivation. After a period of time, my sister went to shut up, and Yan Zhaoge came here through twice. To be sure, my sister is a real beauty. My fair lady and gentlemen are fond of the beauty, but for Yan Zhao Song, it's just that. It's visually pleasing, but there's no special idea. During the first crossing, I experienced the heaven and earth catastrophe and witnessed the scene of the destruction of the temple, which was engraved in Yan Zhaoge's mind forever. So the powerful temple is not guaranteed. Who can be safe forever? Seeing such a scene, some people will be desperate, some people will be drunk at present, and Yan Zhaoge's choice is to strive to improve himself. Although his father seems to be a good man, he has a good starting point, a good background and a lot of henchmen. Yan Zhaoge is still hungry to cherish every resource and strengthen himself without any waste. Every minute, every second, is also grasping. All this has become instinct. With the passage of time, in the period after the second crossing, Yan Zhaoge is also gradually adapting to the new environment and identity, adapting to the people and things around, but some things will never change. For myself, the most important thing now is to practice hard, so as not to waste such superior environment and conditions. In this age of martial arts, personal strength can determine the general trend of the times. Strength is respected and the winner is the king. But Yan Zhaoge found that things didn't seem so simple. At this time, the big man beside said. In addition, young man, that Yi Jingan also checked. At the age of 16, Jianyu, Tiandonghu and Dongtang people died at the age of 3. Their parents were raised by other members of the family. They were bullied by others. His performance has always been mediocre and his martial arts talent is not inferior. Apart from growing up with Miss Lin, there is nothing worthy of attention. But after you took Miss Lin to leave, he suddenly changed dramatically. He made great progress in his cultivation and showed amazing performance. First, he had a firm foothold in his family, and then he helped the family force to sit in the local area and suppress the hostile forces. Later, he went to the capital of the state of the Eastern Tang dynasty and became famous. He became the leader of the young generation of the Eastern Tang dynasty and obtained the qualification to participate in the entry examination of Guangqing Mountain. After successfully passing the examination and joining Guangqing Mountain, the rising momentum seems to be stronger than Miss Lin, with outstanding performance. He is the best among the new disciples. This time, he won the first place in the small competition. The big man said here with a simple smile. However, compared with you, you are not competitive. Yan Zhaoge, however, turned away and said, it's strange. I can't help it. In my opinion, this product is like a leading role template. Now the question is, what role has you become in the rise of the protagonist? I think that the current generation of talented young people in the same family, rich and young, have some strength of their own. Behind them is a father who can give me a head. The background is not shallow. What's more, I seem to have taken over his sister. The original master of my body seems to have taken even the blood of Lin's sister. Well, my leather bag has a good appearance. It's very strong when I look at it. I feel happy when I hit my face or step on it. Then my father came out to me and became another stepping stone for him. Listen to the full novel at FameTV.info, direct link in the description.